What's going on, guys? It's Groove, and today we're going to be going over Sun Tzu's Art of War, or at least the first chapter. And if you're just coming in, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, or just a like. You don't even got to subscribe. I'm just doing this for me. So Sun Tzu was a military general and strategist, and he lived in ancient China, and he lived between 544 BC and 496 BC. So it's crazy when we really think about this. You know, to most people, when you sit there and say, like, what is old to them, they'll be like, oh, the 1980s or even the 1950s. Some people may even look at the 1500s or the 1400s as old. But, you know, thinking about what they were doing 2,500 years ago is kind of crazy. And even to some people who may be thinking of old, they may look to the Bible. You know, in the Bible, all of those stories of like Peter and Paul, those guys were all operating at like 50 BC. So to even go back 400 to 500 years before that, thinking about what people were doing back then, it's kind of crazy to think about. So the Art of War, so it's a treatise on military tactics and warfare. And it's been employed by people like Napoleon, Mao, Fidel Castro, Joseph Stalin, and General Douglas MacArthur. When I read this part right here, again, we've got 25-year-old or 2,500-year-old military advice. And the thing that that comes to my mind, the American Revolution, where the British came over and they were trying to fight the Americans. This information has been used by military generals going back hundreds of years, thousands of years. And you have the British that come over and they're wearing their red coats and they're walking in single file lines and they're all just getting picked off by the Americans. And it's like, y'all didn't read this? Like, what's going on? They just skipped over this information. So why do we have the Art of War? So the Art of War is vital importance to the state or to the government, or to any dynasty. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is subject of inquiry which can no account be neglected. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors: the moral law, heaven, earth, the commander, method of discipline. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accordance with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Heaven signifies night and day, cold and heat, times of seasons. Earth compromises distance, great or small, danger and security, open ground and narrow passes, the chances of life and death. The commander stands for vital of wisdom, sincerely, benevolence, courage, and strictness. By method and discipline are to be understood and marshalling of the army and its proper subdivisions, the graduation of ranks among officers, maintenance of roads by which supplies may reach the army, and control of the military expenditures. These 5 heads should be familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made on basis of comparison in the wise. Which of these 2 sovereigns is imbued with the moral law? Which of these 2 generals has the most ability? With whom lies the advantage derived from heaven and earth? On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? Which army is stronger? On which side are officers and men more highly trained? In which army is there greater consistency both in reward and punishment? By means of these 7 considerations, I can forecast victory or defeat. The general who hearkens to my counsel and acts upon it will conquer. Let such one be retained in command. The general that hearkens not to my counsel nor acts upon it will suffer defeat. Let such one be dismissed. While heeding the profit of my counsel, avail yourself also of any helpful circumstances over and beyond the ordinary rules. According as circumstances are favorable, one should modify one's plans. All warfare is based on deception. When able to attack, we must seem unavailable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When we are far away, we must make him believe that we are near. Hold out baits to entice the enemy. Feign disorder and crush him. If he is secure in all points, be prepared for him. If he is superior in strength, evade him. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. Attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. These military devices leading to victory must not be divulged beforehand. Now the general who wins a battle makes many calculations in his temple. The general who loses a battle makes but few calculations beforehand. Thus do many calculations to lead to victory. and few calculations will lead to defeat. It is by attention to this point that I can foresee who is likely to win or lose. Now, it's crazy when I'm reading this first chapter on like the strategies of war, him saying that the best war is won by deception, and that you need to make your enemy think that you're going to do something else when, in turn you have plans to do another, and that you should always make a bunch of calculations beforehand before you go into battle. It kind of makes me think like, man, like, is that all we're good for as humans, is just fighting? It doesn't matter how long you go back in time or in history. It's just battle after war, after dynasty builds up, then they feel like they're good, and then another one comes up, and then they just battle each other. And for him to even put this whole art of war together, he would have had to seen so many battles and so many wars and so many dynasties who are trying to take over for him to be like, okay, what is the best information? What is the best strategy to win? And it's crazy. But yeah, so that's chapter 1, laying plans. And yeah, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and we'll continue in that next one. Peace.